Welcome to our Golfbidder Advanced Wedges video, where we hope to help you broaden your understanding of wedges with a view to choosing the right number and setup of your wedges to best suit your game. After all, wedges are used in the scoring zone of golf, and just as the right ones can help you make birdie or get out of a tricky situation with par, having the wrong wedges can leave you dreadfully exposed out on the golf course and cost you shots. Now, in our introductory wedge video, we explained in simple terms the difference between pitching wedges, gap wedges, sand wedges and lob wedges, and the varying lofts of each. And these wedges can often look very similar and seem very basic in terms of technology, but trust me, they are not. Understanding the different types and specifications of wedges is vital for you to having a setup to get the most out of your game. Now, one of the most common considerations with wedges is, where do we start assembling the wedges we need? Every one of us is different. We have different sets of clubs which we hit different distances. Some modern iron sets are extremely strongly lofted as the never-ending search for distance goes on. But here is Titleist wedge expert Jeremy Stone with the top piece of advice on where to begin regardless of what set we have.
The reality is every golfer has to look at their last iron, 9-iron, pitching wedge, gap wedge, whatever that is, and whatever that number is, let's say it's 120 yards, they still have to cover 120 into the hole, and that's where wedges play a role.
So now that we have a start point from the last iron in our set, we need to establish some criteria for our wedges. The first being, we need to have wedges so that using the exact same stock swing, we will hit the ball incrementally different distances every time. Here's Jeremy again.
4 to 6 degrees often equates to 10 to 15 yards. So regardless of what loft you play, you want to create a consistent 10 to 15 yard gap through your set of wedges. For some players that's 4 degrees, for others that's 6. But most often 4 degrees is going to give a golfer more consistent stock swings. We're all really good at that stock driving range swing. Where we struggle is when you have to say, okay, I'm going to take it to 9 o'clock and swing 3/4. It's like, oh boy. Yeah. Now you're introducing inconsistencies. Yeah. So with 4 degrees of gapping, you get more consistent stock swings. You're more likely to hit your number.
So this is really starting to take shape. Start from the last iron in your set, bridge the gap in 10 to 15 yard increments. Find out the loft of your shortest iron in your set and add 4 degrees. But wait, by that 15 yard logic, 3 wedges might span a gap of 45 yards, 4 wedges would span 60 yards. So how many wedges do I actually need? It might be helpful then to know what some of the best wedge players on tour use.
So we see a pretty even split between 3 wedge sets and 4 wedge sets out on tour. And so I'll use 2 players that give a very good example of them. The first is Jimmy Walker. Jimmy Walker is an exceptional wedge player. He plays 3 wedges. He plays a 48 degree Vokey design pitching wedge, so the 4810F. He then goes into the 5408M, which provides that rotational versatility, and then he goes and plays the 6004L. Jordan Spieth, on the other hand, he chooses a 4 wedge set. He replaces his AP2 pitching wedge with a 4610F grind, but then he plays a 5208F grind, a 5610S grind, and a 6004L. And they just decide not only what types of wedge shots do I need to hit, what's going to give me the most versatility green side, but also they start taking a look at the high end of the set. How many hybrids do I need to carry? How many long irons do I need to carry? And so that holistic approach to a full set of 14 clubs is what we recommend for every golfer. That's why we see probably a 50-50 split on tour between the 3 wedge set like Jimmy Walker, something like a 48-54-60, and what Jordan plays, which is a 46, 52, 56, 60.
So Jimmy Walker carries 3 wedges, 48, 54 and 60, while Jordan Spieth has 4, a 46, 52, 56 and 60. The number of wedges you will carry will also be a function of what's happening on the other end of your bag. If you need an extra hybrid or extra fairway wood, you might have to sacrifice a wedge, as it must add up to 14 clubs. Whatever lofts you choose, and Jimmy Walker and Jordan Spieth choose different ones to each other, the key is to have consistent gapping, irrespective of the lofts. Now, another key consideration when selecting your wedges is bounce. We already spoke about lofts and gapping our wedges so that they hit the ball defined distances, but we also need our wedges to perform different tasks, such as hit out of bunkers, nip it off a tight lie, or hit a high flop shot, and this is where bounce comes in. When a wedge hits the ground during a shot, the club bounces on or through whatever surface is under the ball. In essence, bounce involves two key factors: the sole design and the angle of the leading edge at address. As well as the loft stamped on wedges, you'll pretty much always see another smaller number on there. This is the bounce angle. Low bounce wedges are usually 4 to 6 degrees and are favoured by players in hard band conditions like links courses, or used by elite players who are so precise they can pick the ball off any lie. Most wedges are mid-bounce or 7 to 10 degrees of bounce, which is very versatile and suits the average club player. High bounce wedges then have more than 10 degrees of bounce and are used by players in softer parkland conditions where the bunkers are deep, or often too by those who tend to dig the club through the strike. For those of you who would like to tackle the even more advanced topic of grind in wedges, make sure to check out our separate video on that very subject. So there you are. There's a lot more to wedges than meets the eye, and even more important is finding the right ones for you. Not only the model, but the loft, bounce and grind too. I do hope this video goes a long way towards helping you choose the right wedges for your game. If you like this video, please do give us the thumbs up below and subscribe to the Golfbidder channel on YouTube somewhere down here. But for me for now, it's Donal out.